Calling the Civil Service Commission meeting to order for October 15th, 2024. All commissioners are present except Commissioner Holt at this time. I will now hand it over to Chair Stevens.
Thank you. Good morning, and let's go ahead and move to item number 2 on the agenda. Approval of minutes.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you. Welcome, Commissioner Holt.
Good morning. Do we have to go back now?
No, I don't think so. I think that that was,
We can keep
we had a sufficient number of people to do that. So unless Craig has comments or concerns or questions about the minutes.
Having none.
All right, thank you. Let's move to item number 3, the Chief Examiner's report, please.
Good morning, Commission. I just have just a couple of really quick items. I wanted to start off by notifying everyone that city management has sent out 29 layoff notifications for budgetary issues as of the end of September, and we are working with the possibly affected employees at this time. Plenty of information on our SharePoint site, and we have a great team fielding all the calls and questions that people have. Hopefully, nobody will get laid off, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. But we are assisting those that may be affected. And just the other thing is we are gearing up for our very large fire lieutenant assessment next week. We're going to have Paxton, our marketing coordinator, there doing some video work for some glossier brochure type things to attract more evaluators for our 25-26 assessment center season. And we've got 6 evaluators coming in from all over California, Alaska, Idaho, and we've got about 30-some candidates. So it's a lot of work. So the entire team will probably be out at Fire Training Center all next week doing that good work. And then finally, just really quickly, I just want to touch on our item 4B, the Test Genius presentation we're going to do this morning. Blake Monroe, our analyst too, will be doing a brief update on our Test Genius, which is our online testing platform and item banking software that we purchased or went into effect last year. We've been doing it all about a little over a year now. Just want to give you guys, provide some information for you and give you a brief overview of how it's working and how it's going to help move us into the future. And with that, I have nothing else.
Any questions? I just have one. Reference the layoffs that we're experiencing. How much impact will that have on civil service staff? I mean, with the actual layoff procedure, and then I would imagine that there'll be something on the tail end too as people are brought back in, hopefully.
Absolutely. 29 is a fairly manageable number. I mean, I think we were expecting there to be more notifications put out. Initially, once people get that layoff notification, there's a flurry of activity with us of talking about options and understanding the rules and how layoffs work. So we'll probably be doing that for the next several weeks. And then if layoffs actually do occur, we maintain a layoff list and we make sure that as positions come open, other positions come back, that those folks are given their rights to come back in the right order, and really, keep them informed as the process continues. So it's work, but it certainly could have been a lot worse.
Thank you. And I think that's one of the things that is critical about the Civil Service Commission is making sure that that layoff procedure is done properly and that when people are brought back to work, that, again, is done in the appropriate fashion. And so I think we serve the staff well when we do those things. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's can be very panicky for affected employees, and we're just here to provide steady information through the process.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Now you made me think about this. So how long does an employee stay on a list? If they're laid off, don't they hold some kind of?
They do. If they actually are laid off and sever employment with the city, they remain on that layoff list for 36 months.
Okay.
If they take a demotion or a transfer, in lieu of layoff, they maintain rights back to their position until they're made whole again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If there are no other comments, let's go ahead and move to new business.
All right, item 4A, Resolution 2024-12, classification actions. We are recommending the deletion of SPN 030, Claims Specialist. State laws have changed, and the Claims Specialist classification would have needed major revisions to be used. None of the claims adjusting work that was done previously by the claims specialist can be performed without licensure any longer, and the classification is not currently being utilized. And all of the adjusting work must be completed by claims administrators, which is, we already have them. So we are recommending deletion of the claims specialist position. Management and Local 270 are in concurrence with this.
Thank you. Any motions regarding this resolution?
Move to accept the recommendation to delete.
Second.
Discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Would lead us to B, item B.
Item 4B is the Test Genius presentation. Blake Monroe will come on up and dazzle us.
Morning, Commissioners. I don't know, that's very far away, but I think you can hear me okay. As Kelsey introduced, I'm going to talk a little bit about Test Genius, our online testing platform, and what we do with that, how it's been working, and how we're going to use it in the future. Also have a time to answer any questions you might have towards the end. When we think of testing, a lot of times we think of these little bubbles that we fill in our number 2 pencils on paper, in person, and that's how it's been for a long time. However, we also have the option today for examinees to test online, remotely, from the convenience of their own computer or from a computer lab at their local library, stuff like that, and that's very convenient. We do that through a software called Test Genius. Test Genius, as Kelsey mentioned, is something that we went live with it about a year ago. And actually for several years ago, Civil Service started looking for options, which was pretty forward thinking at the time. It became a necessity in 2020, as you can imagine, and so we were in a good position to roll that out, and that's led us to today. So Test Genius does a couple things for us. First of all, it is completely browser-based, which is nice. That means that when we invite an applicant to take a test, they don't have to download a software to do this. They just open a link in their email. It opens in Chrome or Edge or whatever browser they use, and they can do it without any additional software, which is great because we don't want to create extra barriers. It also integrates really well with NeoGov. If you're not familiar, NeoGov is the software we use for recruitment. It's also where we manage our eligible lists. And so when a test is administered in Test Genius, all the scores for the examinees are pushed immediately into NeoGov, where we can then rank those candidates according to our rules. And so that's previously been a very manual process, and now it's fully integrated, which is great. It also allows us to write custom test questions. So when we were shopping for vendors, Test Genius and others all offer some kind of suite of pre-made test questions, but one of the integral parts of the process we do here for test development is working with our SMEs, our subject matter experts, so that we can make sure that our test questions are appropriate for some of the very specialized work we do here at the city. And not all the off-the-shelf questions meet that need. This is something that Test Genius does really well. We have a lot of options for writing questions, and we can maintain all of those in a central place, which we call our item bank. And that's a big part of what Test Genius is for us. The item bank is a database of all of our test questions. We organize them by competency, or the subject area that they are most related to. So for instance, written communication or vehicle operation. When we create an exam in Test Genius, What we're doing is we're taking items out of that item bank, those questions, and assembling those into a test. We don't have to rewrite those questions every time, which is, again, an improvement. So for instance, in this test we're going to throw together here, we might want mathematical reasoning, inspection and enforcement, safety, and interpersonal skills. Those are pretty common here. And so those items already exist in the item bank, or maybe we write some new ones and put them in there, and then we can associate them together to make our exam. And once we're done, those items still live in the item bank, which means that we can use them again next time, which is a great improvement over previous processes. So far, we've put the item bank to pretty good use. We've made over 100, about 125 as of today, examinations. And again, that's in about a year period, and it's only going up. On the month average, we've seen as many as 12 in a month, and no fewer than 4 or 5. So it's trending upwards for sure. We so far cover 57 different competencies in our item bank. So these are, again, the subject areas that we're testing on. And that's increasing as well as we find new needs in areas that we haven't yet created a bunch of items. We do have a bunch of items. So we've got about 5,000, it's actually over 5,000 items in the item bank so far. So these are all the test questions that we've used over the years, all the ones we're creating as we go. And it's a lot. It's a really good resource for us to have in a central location, so that's been working out pretty well. And for reference, when I say 125 examinations, so far we have done, I think, about 1,500 examinees put through this process, tested. So it doesn't average out quite as beautifully as that. Some of them are 1 to 10 examinees per exam, but some of them are as high as 100 plus. So putting good work in. Right now and in the future, we have some plans for this software. First of all, we are increasing the number of items available for use, and we're doing that in a different way. We're writing items by competency. So rather than waiting for a test to come around and we recognize a need there for that specific classification, we're assigned a competency as analysts, and so maybe I'll be assigned, I think this month it's planning or something like that. And I'll write questions that pertain to that competency without specific classifications in mind. And what that does is it allows us to have fresh items ready to use when that comes along, when that need comes along. We're not having to start from scratch. And that's been working quite well for us. We also get to use new item types. So as I've talked about test questions, undoubtedly most of us have been thinking about multiple choice, 3 options and pick the best one. And we do a lot of those, but there are other options and other ways that we can assess too. These new item types give us the ability to, for instance, instead of providing you 3 options, which might give the answer away, we'll provide a blank and you have to fill it in because maybe putting those options in front of you makes it a little too obvious. So now you just show us that you know it. I'll show you some more item types here in a minute. So TestGenius does have a neat feature. It's computer simulation. So this is a good way for us to test somebody's overall computer skill and also specific proficiencies with like Word or Excel or other software programs that are very common. What this does is it actually simulates the software on their screen. It's just like using the software, and they're given a specific prompt. So change the font or insert a row or something like that. And then they carry out that task, and within a few attempts, if they're successful, they get the item correct. If they're not, it's incorrect and they move on. And that's a way that we can turn that skill into a scorable exam. So at present and into the future, gatekeeping is a big part of this. So we have this item bank. The idea there is that all those items are high quality, ready to use, and that they're not used too often or overexposed. And so the gatekeeping process, one of the analysts, currently it's me, acts as the gatekeeper. And so when new items are written, either because we had a test we needed some items for or because we wrote for our competencies, those go in front of the gatekeeper to make sure that those items are up to snuff as far as formatting, meeting our style or functional, the formatting guide that we have, and free of grammar errors and things like that. And so that's how we make sure that everything in there is high quality. We also have the ability with Test Genius to look at item analysis in kind of in aggregate. In the past, you would see how a test item performed on that test, and that's it. Now we can look at how it performed in the 5 items it's been used in over the last couple of years. And you might be able to see that it works really well at this level, maybe not at this level, and we can make better decisions about how we use our items. And when it's time to retire an item because too many people have seen it. It's getting too easy. And so that gatekeeping process is a critical thing. Going forward, Test Genius is going to allow us to move towards modular testing. And that concept is, it's an efficiency gain because right now, if you want 100 items on your test, 100 questions, you have to assemble all those manually. We only had 4 competencies up there for our exam. So the idea of modular testing is that interpersonal skills is a pretty common requirement for a competency. It exists in almost every classification. So rather than having to go select 10 or 20 questions of that competency, maybe there's a few options of pre-built modules built by us that meet that need. And so you can look at the options there with your SMEs and say, we like this module. We're going to take those 20 questions for our test. That speeds up our process. And really a theme here, if you're not catching it, is not having to reinvent the wheel every time we want to use a question that we remember. Oh yeah, what's that one about the ladder? It's in there. You can just go find it. Same thing, but on a bigger scale with the modular testing. That and other options available to us through Test Genius give us just increased efficiency. The idea is it shouldn't take as long as it does to make a test, not because it's not worth the time investment, it certainly is, but again, we don't need to do everything from scratch every time. So we're going to see the ability to spend less time on that test development and more time doing other important work that we still have plenty to do. One of the reasons we chose Test Genius is because it has a pretty good suite of test security features. And they are working on additional test features as we go into the future. You know, there's certainly some threats to test security that are coming. And everybody's probably thinking the letters AI. Test Genius is all over it. They are providing options for us, and we're looking at what those are and when we might want to move into some other test security options. I don't want to get into specifics here in a public forum, but they're pretty good. And I wanted to take the opportunity to show you what a candidate might see. So here I've got an email, and this is my test link. I've been invited to test. And we'll show you what this looks like.
Quick question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So if you're a candidate and you see this and you're going to take the test, do you need a proctor?
That's a great question. So we have the option to do proctoring. It really depends on the needs of the specific test. It's not something that would be decided per candidate. It's definitely something that would be decided at the time that we're working with our SMEs, deciding how we're going to administer the test. Not every test goes through an online testing environment. Those that do, you know, we're looking at different ways, and there are several options to make that test security just equal to being in a room with a person there in front of you. And so when you have that paper test, you do have a proctor. That is an option that we have available to us as well, and one that we utilize as needed. So, yeah, good question. So this is the email that somebody might see. We actually have a few different ways we get these test links to people, so this is just one of them. Basically, we're just inviting this person to test. Congrats, you're moving on to the next step. It does give some information up there about what browsers you might want to use and devices. That's important. Say it publicly and loudly. Please don't use your phone. It's not made for that, but if you do it, it's at your own risk. And it does give some information here about support in case you do run into any issues. This down here is our test link down at the bottom. This is what we're going to click to go to our test. And that didn't work, but I'm going to go ahead and open one anyways. So this one is brand new. I have not visited this before. So when they click the email link, when they're not in the middle of a PowerPoint presentation, this will open. So it'll tell them what they are testing for. Now here, this is in our staging environment. This is not our live environment. So this would say City of Spokane up here. It'll tell them what they're testing for. So for instance, this might say Clerk 3 or, pardon me, Office Assistant. Test code is unique to them, so everybody gets their own. They cannot get into somebody else's test code. And then down here, we have some just brief information for them. This piece right here is telling them this is a confidential process. You are not allowed to cheat. If you do, then you will be disqualified. And they click agree, and they go ahead and begin their test. And this is a very brief test, and it will not be difficult. Although there is one question that requires math. So, see how we do. It's okay, I have the answers. Yeah, so I'll show you through this a couple of the different item types. This is obviously a multiple choice question. This is what most of us are used to. So it's just asking approximately how many custom items does a civil service item bank currently contain? We already know that because it was in the presentation. So that's 5,000. We'll move on. The online testing platform we know is called TestGenius. But this is a new one. So we can do, this is called a drag and drop item. And here I've got kind of a silly example, but there's actually a lot of great ways that our analysts have come up so far to use this, to match information, well, classifying things, obviously, is something that we all do quite a bit, and this is another way that you could test that. So, for instance, I'll drag my photo down over here. That's Blake. We know that's Kelsey. And here we've got Caitlin down there and Liz up here. And I just scored 100 on that one. So, yeah, so we also have true false. This is very similar to the multiple choice, of course. The number of examinations administered, is that expected to decrease in 2025? Yeah, this should actually read super false. Yeah. Examinee scores from TestGenius are automatically sent to NeoGov, the city's recruiting and eligible list management solution. That is wonderfully true. And the term modular testing, this one is kind of hard. I don't know, I get kind of confused. I think it might be B, but it's actually C. So it's the assembly of multiple competency-specific tests into a complete examination battery. That's where we're talking about taking those 20 items that already exist, putting them right in. So this is an example of a fill-in-the-blank. So I mentioned earlier that multiple choice questions sometimes make it a little too easy. Give them the options. I know on multiple choice questions in the past, I have worked backwards when I didn't know the answer, and you gave me 3 things to test, and I was able to figure it out. That's not good. So here you actually have to know what to do. If in the first 9 months of the year we've tested 1,350 examinees, how many will that be for the year if it stays consistent? Well, you have to do some division and multiplication, and 1,800 is your answer. And then also, we can do short answer or essay questions, which is really cool. This is something we use a lot when we're doing training and experience evaluations. We also have the ability to use these in combination with multiple choice items and the other types that you've seen. And so here in my own words, I'm going to summarize the benefits of remote testing. I'm going to say it's more accessible, more geographic reach, more convenience. Like that. And I'll submit my answer. And yes, I do want to be finished with this test now. So with all those different test items, there's really a lot more we can do than just a standard multiple choice quiz, which I think is what a lot of people think our tests are. It is more than that. Obviously, this doesn't cover everything that we can do with oral boards and some of the stuff we see at our assessment centers, but this does really increase our capability. And so that gives us a lot more that we can do. So, does anybody have any more questions?
Can you do it in different languages?
Ooh, that's a good question. We probably can. I will say we haven't. At this point, all of our tests, whether on paper or online, have been in English, but that's a really great question, something we might want to try out. Yeah. Anything else?
Just one quick, I guess, question, comment. I think Karen's probably had the experience of sitting on the other side of the table, taking civil service tests, and I have as well. And one of the gauges on the effectiveness of questions quite often is challenges to those questions, where somebody looks at it, either a specific question or a set of questions are challenged. And I know that when we used to evaluate that, it was like, oh, well, did we write the question properly? Did we, why did X number of people all challenge this? So I guess where I'm going with my question is, in utilizing Test Genius, have you gotten some feedback on how the user feels about it? Are you getting challenges to questions or types of questions? And if so, is it at a level higher, lower, or about the same as what we used to do?
Yeah. Well, we have received feedback, whether it's a challenge or a protest specifically. Of course, those are limited to promotional examinations. I will say we've done mostly open entry through our online testing so far. We have had feedback from candidates, some great, some saying, hey, this wasn't very clear to me. And we've been able to make improvements just like we would if they were sitting in the room and saying, I didn't understand this question, the language was weird, or hey, there was a typo. I will say it seems like it's not a noticeable increase or decrease. So at this time, with a year's worth of data, it's about the same. So, yeah. The nice part is, again, we can look at that item analysis in not just that one test environment, because again, maybe that question's just really hard. If we're doing kind of an entry-level position and we had a really high reading level, really difficult math or something like that, maybe that just wasn't appropriate for that test, and so it would look like everybody got it wrong. But if you look at that question in maybe a mid-level, experience-wise, a mid-level position, you might see that it performed a little bit better. And so we get feedback from examinees, but we also get behind the scenes some more data that we can use to make better decisions about where we use our items. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Just a couple of comments. I think the role of the gatekeeper is going to be huge as this moves forward. With 5,000 items in the test bank now, that could become 10,000, 15, 20,000 items. And then down the road, you could conceivably have an unmanageable database. So probably need two of you down the road. Maybe.
Very well could,
So
yeah.
we're adding costs here, Kelsey. And then the next thing is just this online testing. I imagine that the critical tests may not be online. I'm just not an advocate right now of online testing. Call it the skeptic in me, of the ability to have your iPad next to you and Googling an answer for a police lieutenant test that you might not otherwise know.
Yeah,
or something.
That's a great observation. It's something we're keenly aware of and concerned with as well. So.
Are they time limited, the exams?
Yeah, and actually one of the things that I didn't get to show here today is we have the ability to really restrict quite a few different things. So for instance, we can make a very tight time limit. We have done that already with something like an attention to detail exam. If you give somebody 2 hours to look through and make sure all the numbers match, pretty much everybody's going to get it. But if you give them 8 minutes to do, 10 questions, maybe it's not. Maybe it does a better job of separating those who are really skilled in that area from those who aren't. Same thing applies when we're talking about the concern of somebody Googling an answer. Let's not give them 5 minutes per question, so they don't have time to go do that. And let's write better questions, and that brings us back to the gatekeeper problem. Is if we're writing questions that are easily Googleable, we need to write better ones. Let's show someone applying their knowledge rather than just regurgitating facts, because that's what Google's great at. But the applying knowledge is what humans are great at. So, yeah.
I have another question. You brought up taking these tests, and I started twitching a little bit. Remembering some of the ones that I.
You do remember.
Yeah, I do. So what do you do do you still do typing tests? Because that was the
Yeah.
worst experience of my entire life.
I think typing tests are not as common as they used to be. I've also taken a typing test for the city. Yeah, it's available to us. So for instance, we have some other capabilities that are more niche that I didn't really get into in the software. We do have the ability to run a typing test. There's also a feature for proofreading, which I think is really cool. These are things that are built in that we can customize and tweak a little bit to our needs. But yeah, there's a lot of different things we can do, including typing tests, if we want to if that's a critical part
I
of the
think
job.
there should be a law that says no more typing tests.
Yeah.
Don't have to learn, don't have to type fast.
Yeah, they're not very common anymore. Yeah.
That's good.
I have one other question for you real quickly. You'd mentioned that, especially I would imagine on open entry exams, phones.
Yes.
The mobile app maybe not be as robust as working on a desktop. Have you had
Yeah.
candidates that have, or applicants that have tried it on their phone and then maybe not been so successful, primarily because of the manner in which they were accessing it?
So that is one of the first questions we ask people when they say, hey, the test didn't work for me, which our admin team fields those calls when they happen. If somebody's taking it on a mobile phone or on even a tablet or something like that, first of all, we've told them, please don't do that. There are multiple problems to that. It's one, it's built for a computer and computer resolution, that widescreen. If you're taking it on your phone in a vertical resolution, you're shortchanging yourself right off the bat. You also don't have a keyboard and a mouse. So hopefully they didn't have a keyboarding test. Or maybe that'd be better for them, I don't know. But the mouse, for instance, is something that I think these tests are still designed for a computer. When those calls come in, that's one of the first questions we ask, and we can advise people, this, again, is really made to be taken on a computer. If you don't have a computer, you do have the option still to request to come into the test room. That's not gone away. We can still accommodate people who need that access to technology. So, yeah.
I was going to mention quickly, I know somebody who had to take a couple tests, and was able to, and I don't know if you guys know, the library does proctoring. So he called the library and was able to set up a time to go in and take the test. And there was somebody there that proctored to make sure that he wasn't using his cell phone and all of that.
Yeah, and that's
Pretty cool.
fantastic. And we've done.
Much easier than we thought.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing some research to find other options as well. So for instance, if we have out-of-town folks, maybe their library doesn't offer that service. I've looked into, for instance, are there college campuses or something like that that have testing centers? So we're trying to be forward-thinking about that and see other options for people to help increase the accessibility, but also still maintain our test security. Yeah.
Any other questions, commissioners? Thanks, Blake.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commission. Appreciate it.
Item 5. Other business? All right, let's go to item 6.
Move to adjourn.
I second.
Call for a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.